Views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. But you are encouraged to like and share them on Facebook because it's time for the Sue Ellen Sanders Show with Sue Ellen Sanders.
Welcome to the Sue-Ellen-Sanders Show. Thanks, Cliff. And I'm excited to have with me today a guest who pretty much needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce her anyhow. Kathy Post and I was trying to remember how long we've known each other for, like, maybe 22 years.
I was going to say, it's been a really long time.
Yeah, a really long time.
But we were only like 3 back then, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
We were in college. Wink, wink. And she is, of course, an insurance saleswoman and the owner of Post Insurance Company.
Correct.
And she also is and actually, you know, I know her with that hat on too. But I mainly know her from working out in the community because you have been very active in the community with a number of different organizations over the years. And you and I have worked together through them. And today, the hat you're wearing is as a woman of Jewelia, benefiting the VIM Hands Clinic of St. Lucie County and the Docks Rock concert that's coming up. Also with us today is Christine Iannotti. Is that right?
Close. Iannotti.
Oh, darn close. We were talking about this before the show, and Kathy and I both have been pronouncing her name wrong for, 6 months or so? Yeah. So we're just going to refer to her from here on in as that woman. No,
Christine.
Christine. Christine works for the VIM Hands Clinic, and she is their development director. Or do you have a different title?
I actually have a title of community development specialist.
Okay, so there's development in there.
Yes.
So, yes.
Lots of developing names,
yes,
etc.
And part of course, what Christine does is, development in the nonprofit world means raising funds and raising people. And that's kind of what she does. Yeah. So, and I am part of the people she's raised. And of course, Kathy has a primary role in helping to raise funds as part of the Women of Jewelia. So before we get started talking about Docks Rock, which, by the way, is coming up on April 7th, we're going to first talk a little bit about the VIM Hands Clinic of St. Lucie County because they've been on my show before. But honestly, if you're just hearing the name for the first time, I don't want you to think that it's a clinic that takes care of people's hands because it does not. Yeah.
Yes, a lot of people think that. Yep.
It takes care of so much more.
That's right. Actually, HANDS stands for Health Access Needs Development Services. So it doesn't
it's an
mean
acronym.
Right. It doesn't mean that we're taking care of people's hands, and that is a huge problem out in the community.
But it is a hands up to people who are looking and needing health care.
Yes, it is, and that's good. I'm going to use that. Thank you.
Okay. And tell me again the people you serve.
We provide primary health care services to non-insured St. Lucie County residents between the ages of 18 and 64.
And many of those non-insured St. Lucie County residents actually are employed.
That is correct.
So it's not, they're not people who are just waiting for somebody else to take care of them. They're people who are working hard and they just don't have health insurance, whether it's because they only work part-time or their employee doesn't offer it or their employer offers it for a premium and they can't afford to pay that premium.
What I have found over the last couple of months since I've been at the clinic is that they really just can't afford it. And Kathy being an insurance agent.
I was just thinking that.
Well, even those people with really good jobs, high-paying jobs, healthcare insurance is very expensive right now. Mm-hmm. And so if your employer is not paying it, or in some cases, even if they're offering to pay half, it still doesn't mean that the employee can afford the other half. I think we could spend a whole show just talking about this. But, for some, it is choosing between feeding my family or not, and health insurance. And so there's quite a few in the community. And, just add that it's the entire community of St. Lucie County. Whether you're in Fort Pierce or Port St. Lucie, the Hands Clinic serves multiple residents throughout the county.
And families and different age groups as well.
Right. Yep.
So if people are interested in qualifying for the services that Hands offers, how do they get more information?
They can go to our website, which is handsofslc.org, or they can give us a call. They can go on the website and look to see what the requirements are. It's pretty simple. There's about 6 items that they need. They need proof of residency, their driver's license, a social security card. We have to know that they have been denied Medicare or Medicaid. And then really just, come on in or call and make an appointment, get that paperwork together, and then they come in and see a navigator. And they do have to be within a certain income guideline, so it has to be 20% below poverty level. But even though they might think that they're not eligible, they really need to call, because it really depends on how many kids they have, who else lives at their house. I mean, there's a lot of different things. So it's best for them to get that paperwork in order and call the clinic and make an appointment with the navigator.
And if you're not able to help them as well, you could probably refer them to another agency.
Yes, we have some very resourcely navigators at the clinic. They will absolutely
I
help
like
them.
that word, navigator.
Navigator.
You kind of
They
picture them all
navigate,
wearing
yes.
the captain's hats. Or
Yeah, they actually wear those.
No.
I'm
Okay. My husband used to call me Gullible's Travels, because he would tell me things and I would believe them. So you have to be kind of cautious about what you tell
Okay,
me.
I'm sorry.
Because then I'll go tell 10 other people.
It'll
You
be
know, they
repeated,
all
on
wear
a future
hats.
Show. I'm sure I heard that.
The navigators probably would wear hats. That's kind of funny, and that would be kind of fun for them to wear them. Actually, that might be a good idea.
Yeah. So anyhow, that explains the Hands Clinic and who receives the services. And some of the services that they receive are medical services that might include dental services and
Yes. Yep.
as well as other types of services. What type of services do that include?
We
It
have
could be-
chiropractic. We have eye care. We have gynecological. We have primary health services, orthopedic, mental health.
And the physicians, are they all volunteers?
Yes, all the physicians are volunteers.
And that's what the VIM part
Yep.
stands for. It's the Volunteers in Medicine.
That's
Which
right.
I think is tremendous, that that the physicians of our county are stepping up and doing their part as well. So that's hats off to them.
Yes, it is. And we have a lot of community partners in the area too. So even if we don't have a physician for someone to see at the clinic, or they have a special need, they get referred out to those community partners, and then they can go to those offices and be seen.
So that's part of what you offer, is that ability for the partnerships and also the physicians. And do your nurses volunteer too?
Yes.
Yeah, so your
Yep.
nurses, so the medical practitioners volunteer, and then you have really a very small core staff that runs the show.
Yep, we have 12 employees actually. We've gone down, and we're open 3 days a week. So we're open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we have 12 employees, and they're the ones who are the backbone. They keep everything running. So
let me ask you a question. Sorry, Sue Ellen.
No, that's okay.
I have a future
Yes,
job.
you
I
can.
do,
Yes. Okay, but before you ask the question, I just have to say that Kathy does have experience as a radio talk show host, Christine, and you may not be aware of this, but Kathy and I and a team of 3 other women actually hosted a show here on WPSL called the Radio Divas, the Treasure Coast Radio Divas,
that's
for
awesome.
what,
We
like
did.
5 years?
Well, let's see, Cassie.
It was a really
13.
long
Wow,
time,
it's been
yeah.
a long time.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
how fun.
It
And
was
I
super
sold
fun.
radio ads. So
Okay,
here we
so-
go.
okay,
What a
so
great team.
hey.
We got
Okay.
a future business.
Okay, so
So
Kathy,
my-
she's going to go ahead and ask the questions
So
now.
my question is, is there an opportunity for more physicians and nurses to volunteer?
Always. Yes.
And how would somebody want
Yes.
to do that?
They give us a call. They call the clinic and have a conversation with Sherry. Sherry Kaufman is the administrative assistant, and she'll put all the paperwork together for them.
And I would presume that you will take, whether they want to volunteer 2 hours a week or 20 hours a week,
Yes.
or you just figure out what works into their schedule.
Yes.
And that's great.
Yes, and yes.
Okay,
And we'll accommodate them. And right now, actually, what we're lacking is dentists. So we would love to have some dentists. We're working with a couple of different dental offices for our patients to be seen in their office, which we don't really want to do. We want the patients to come to the clinic and be seen, but we'll do
Take whatever you can get.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. We want our patients to be seen.
And the importance of that dental care, of course, is especially if someone is looking to move upward in their position, having that dental work completed and have them be pain-free and look good and have teeth in their mouth.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Is so important in healthy teeth, because if you don't, it's really hard to get hired for the next job.
I agree.
And of course, the general health is important
Right.
as well.
You got to look good, feel good, and smell good, right?
Yep. I haven't really heard it put quite in that way, but yeah, I guess so.
Can I use that with my teenage daughter and son?
Oh, stop.
I love it. The checkoff list before you go to school. You got to look good, smell good, and what was the other one?
Smell good.
Oh,
She said smell good. I
smell
know
good.
that because okay, here's just a little story. When my kids were little, which was very many more years ago than when your kids were little, but you said you have a 24-year-old daughter, right?
I do. Yes,
Yeah.
I do. My oldest.
I have a 23-year-old and a 24-year-old, and when we used to go to Disney when they were little, in the Disney hotels there, and there weren't so many then, there was always a Mickey shampoo. Do you remember that Mickey shampoo? And it had a little saying on it that was something like, smell pretty, be happy for the rest of the day.
Oh.
So anyhow,
That's good.
just a little story.
They'll take that from Mickey or Minnie
Yeah,
Mouse.
exactly.
Right.
Much better than they take it
It
from
was
Mom.
like, yeah, oh, true, very true. Anyhow, so back to where were we when we left off? We were talking about
How
the
many
services
more, the services and how many more volunteers they need.
that they need
That we
services
should encourage our community members to.
to volunteer.
Yes.
Also, I know a friend of mine, actually it's a friend of my son's, Rob Levy, who volunteers at the Stewart Volunteers in Medicine Clinic. And he's a retired physician. And so he, got to a point where he didn't want to work full time anymore. But, he's a physician. He's got his certifications, and he still wants to give back to the community. And this is kind of a way for him to work part time without getting paid, of course, but still contribute to someone's health. And do you have a lot of retired physicians and
We
dentists?
do. Yes, absolutely.
Ah,
Just as
you
long as
do.
they're licensed and, retired or not retired, still practicing, they come and support us. Yes. And as a matter of fact, Dr. Ken Palestrant, he just became a volunteer with us. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He owned the urgent cares
Yes.
all around.
I remember.
town.
Yeah.
He got bored.
Yeah.
So he came and toured the clinic, and, everybody's welcome to come and tour the clinic if they want. And
What are the 3 days you're open?
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you
Wednesday.
can come and see what's
Yeah.
out there. So retired physicians and retired dentists or retired nurses, do they have to have their insurance current?
No, they just have to have their license, and then they're
Okay.
covered with the sovereign immunity through us.
Right. Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
there was something to do with that.
Yep.
Okay, so let's move on into the ladies of Jewelia, the gems, we call them.
Yes. And you were one of the original ladies of
I was
Jewelia.
an original Jewelia lady, and I got to wear, and I know Kathy's wearing it today, and this necklace's name is actually Jewelia.
Yes.
And I got to, so the way the women of Julia, the ladies of Julia worked that first year is they all shared this necklace that was generous, generous. I can't even say it.
Generously
Thank you.
donated.
I'm sorry. It's been a really long morning, I guess, day. By G. Allen Jewelers. And Greg made and designed the necklace especially for this project. And what it is, at least what it was that first year, is each woman took a month, got to wear the necklace, walked around, talked about hands and the clinic, and held a fundraiser to benefit the clinic that month. It was kind of like, and then they passed the necklace and kind of the job onto somebody else. And that first year, Christine, the first year alone, those 12 women brought in a tremendous amount of money.
I think for 2 years it was 280,000.
Oh
if
my
I remember
gosh.
correctly.
Yes.
I don't
After
know
the
for the
first 2
first
years.
or the second, but I
Yes.
know combined.
And Kathy stepped up for the second year, which was last year.
Now I'm on to my.
And because there's a little S for Superwoman on her forehead.
Thank you for clarifying the S.
Yes.
I can see it too.
Yeah. She has signed on again for the third year.
Yes,
Yes.
I am Miss March.
Yes.
So we each get dubbed with the month that we are wearing the necklace and hosting either the event or the fundraiser. And so, yes, this is my month. Super excited because I feel like, when you wear the necklace and you become an ambassador for the clinic.
Ambassador. That
course-
was the word I was looking
Yeah.
for.
And of course, we're talking about the clinic year round, but there's just something about putting that necklace on and knowing that, this month it's all about the Hands Clinic and what can I do to help promote both the clinic. There are opportunities to serve people in the community, and like we were talking about with volunteer opportunities, but also like every other nonprofit out there, they run on revenue and they have to have income. And so, we spend the month that we wear the necklace to generate income and friends, both, so that we can keep the clinic open and then we can sustain the project for years to come.
And one of the reasons it works so well, having the 12 different women representing the 12 different months, is because each of those 12 women kind of have a different group of friends and acquaintances and represent different industries, and they are a part of different circles within St. Lucie County and the Treasure Coast.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think that was probably by design so that we could have a broader outreach as opposed to having, 6 or 8 just all good friends who all kind of run in the same circle. You don't tend to have this type of impact community wide. And the Hands Clinic, particularly with Julia, it really, the projects that we have been a part of spill into Indian River and Okeechobee and Martin County, and so there's a tremendous amount of support for the St. Lucie County Hands Clinic through the projects that we're doing.
Well, and along those lines, there's only so many fundraisers you can go to on your calendar, and there's only so many of these balls or dinners or bingo events or something that you have time to fit on your calendar. So last year, when Kathy had her thinking cap on, another cap she frequently wears, and she tries not to wear it at the same time she's wearing the S on her forehead, she thought, hey, I have friends who are physicians that are part of another talent that they can bring to the table, so to speak, and they are rock bands, and they have friends that have rock bands, and so you have put together, last year was the first year you did this Doc's Rock concert, and it was fantastic. It was so wonderful.
Yeah, it's really been a fun project, and I can't take all the credit. Bunny and Horace Webb really were instrumental as well. It was funny because they're brainstorming on one end and I'm brainstorming on another, but we're both thinking about physicians and the bands and how can we bring them into the fold. And we met and Docs Rock was born, and it's a different experience. So you talked about the gala or balls, or the one nice thing about the Jewelia project, I just want to quickly say, is because there's 12 different women doing different events, that gives a lot of opportunity for creativity and coming up with different types of events. So you have some events that are very, very inexpensive, some that are a little bit more expensive. You have some that are more country clubbish, and others that
are more countryish.
More countryish, So it's just a really nice variety of things that are going on, and so it does speak to the uniqueness of each of the ladies. Anyway, back to Docs Rock. So last year we came up with the idea that we wanted to have a concert, and there are several bands locally in the Tri-County area that are made up primarily of physicians. So these are working physicians who, for fun, like to play in a band. Quite talented physicians and quite talented musicians.
And they're really good.
Very good.
I went to that concert last year thinking, oh, well, I'm supporting the Hands Clinic. I'm going to go listen to a bunch of doctors get up there and pretend to be rock stars. No, they were fantastic.
Yeah, they are very serious about their performance. And some of them play locally, like down at Sailor's Return and Stewart and things like that. So, I'll just mention who the bands are.
Would you please?
Sure. Rockin' RX. And that band is made up of, and many of you will recognize the names.
Because they may be your physicians.
They could be your physician. Made up of Dr. Loyola, Rick Colombo, Robert DeMarcarian, Christopher Rao. I'm sorry if I messed that up.
Rao.
And Michael Corelli, who's also a physician. Most of those, I believe, are physicians.
And actually, I spoke with Dr. Corelli today. I went and brought him posters. We had big posters made up.
So excited.
And he said, we had band practice last night. He's like, how many of these posters do you have? Can I have a whole bunch of them? He's like, we're so excited, and so I know that they are very excited. And I also went and dropped off the package for Relapse too. It was John Trevani.
Yeah.
And same thing. Gave them a big giant 24 by 36 poster, a bunch of other posters. They're all excited.
Well, it's such a fun location because you're going to perform at the Sunrise Theater. It's a nice stage. It's the old-fashioned theater experience. And, I'm sure it's a lot of fun for them to be, like Kathy said, a lot of them perform locally, but they might perform in a small club or in a smaller venue. But to perform at the Sunrise Theater, that's really cool.
It's really cool because you have all the lighting, all the sound effects. I mean, you get to perform, they get to perform in a true theatrical venue.
Yes.
And so I think for them, it was really exciting last year to see. And then, of course, that venue really creates an intimate setting for the musicians to be able to connect with the audience.
Especially because, are you going to do it again this year?
We're going to do it again this year,
They took out the first rows of seats so there would be a dance floor. And everybody was up there dancing the whole time. It was great. Even us old people who don't dance all the time when we go to different events. A lot of these physicians in these different groups, they play music. They are my contemporaries, and they play music that I like too, or that I'm singing along with. Yes, I did.
Yes, but it is fun music, and it is fun dance music, and so it's not the kind of concert that, certainly there's plenty of people who just want to sit and enjoy the show, but
and you can do that.
And you can do that.
Nobody will make you get out of your seat.
No, but if you want to get out of your seat and walk down to the front of the stage and really be able to dance and connect, it really lends itself well for that. And so it's just a fun party, and everybody just has a great time.
It really is fun. And it also, the other thing that's cool about it is, especially, I know your husband and my husband are kind of on the same page with this. One of the things they hate most about going to fundraisers is having to get dressed up.
Yes. So I can wear my jeans. I can wear my ratty shoes. Yes, honey, you can wear anything you want.
Yes,
as long
so
as you're wearing something.
It's a concert.
It's a concert.
And when you go to a concert, you know, you can get all dressed up if you want to, but you can also wear your old blue jeans and your flip-flops if you want to. It's okay.
It's okay. Absolutely. We want you to come comfortable. It's not a time and a place for people to, dress up. It's certainly not semi-formal or cocktail or anything. It's just about having a really great time and enjoying yourself.
Yeah. And that's so cool. So
I want to just mention again about the second
yeah,
band.
the second band.
Yeah,
okay.
Relapse is the second band, and they do play quite a bit locally. And they're made up of 6 different members. John Trevani, you mentioned, he is a contractor in Stewart. And then I believe the rest of them are physicians: Alan Colby, Paul Lowry, Jason McManus, George Rittersbach, and Larry Muffsum. So, again, these guys have professional physician careers, and then some with John Trevani and some of the others. But by day, but then by night, they really turn into rockers, and it is so fun to watch
so
that.
Talented.
Absolutely,
Yes,
they are very talented.
And we've seen George Rittersbach on the piano on his own,
Yes.
and he's played for many important venues, and he is so very talented. And you realize that, as a pianist, that the fact that he's also a surgeon, that's totally transferable.
Yes.
Those fingers, whether you're operating or whether you're tinkling the keys, they're totally related. And so a lot of these gentlemen use this as their outside entertainment. They don't go to motorcycle clubs. They go and they go to band practice instead, and their wives are all out there as their groupies, which is kind of cool too, and the music is fantastic. Last year, did the concert sell out, or just about? Almost.
Just about.
So, yeah.
Just about did. And this year we'll have a very similar lineup where one band will play first, there'll be an intermission, and then the second band will wrap it up. So it's a nice evening. The concert itself starts at 7:30, and I believe last year we probably wrapped up somewhere between 9:30 and 10. So it's not a super long evening, but it...
Again, for the husbands who are like homebodies who don't want to be out late, or the wives who like to go to bed early, or those of us that are of an advanced age. I don't know.
Speak for
I'm
yourself.
feeling really old today. I just...
Well, the concert, because we've been talking so much about it, we should tell them when it is. It's Saturday, April the 7th.
I said it at
Did
the
you
very
say it or
beginning of the
okay.
show. I'm just saying. But since you're my co-host, it's a good thing that you're bringing it up again, because you know how to
Well,
do
we should
that.
say it every 30 seconds, right? Because when you're asking people to be involved, you want to just keep
30
blowing it in
seconds?
their
That's
ear
a
constantly.
lot.
Okay.
30 seconds.
April, every 2 minutes? Okay.
Okay, April 7th, April 7th, April 7th.
All right, we're done with that.
Okay.
April 7th, 7:30 at the Sunrise Theater in downtown Fort Pierce.
All right. And it's really important to let people know how to buy tickets, too.
Yes, tickets are available at the Sunrise Theater box office. That is the only place that you can purchase tickets. For balcony seats, it's $20 per person, and orchestra level seats are $30 per person. So it's a very reasonable cost to be able to get out. All the proceeds go to benefit the Hands Vim Clinic in St. Lucie County. We also are looking for sponsorship opportunities. So for anyone who might be interested in sponsorship, then that's something else we can help them with.
Still plenty of time if you want to be a sponsor.
Absolutely.
Are you
plenty of
going to do
time.
a silent auction again this year?
We're not going to do a silent auction this year. We decided that we're going to do a VIP private cocktail party, and that will allow those who are sponsors that can come ahead of time and mingle. We'll have the band there taking some pictures. So it'll be, kind of a groupie VIP party. So that'll be kind of fun.
Good. That sounds like a fun time. And the other thing that I've noticed, that I noticed last year, is a lot of people went as a group, like a whole office would go, because the tickets are really affordable, and you can buy them all together and buy that whole group, and it's a ticketed event. So it's not, you don't have to line up at the door and save seats for each other. You actually have ticketed seats. And, if you are maybe looking for something for your whole office to do together, or for your team of teachers or something to do, this is a nice little team building type event that you could come to and have a good time. April 7th is not very far away at all, and the good seats will go fast. So if you want to sit up front, or the truth of the matter is really you can get tickets and seats anywhere, because if you're like me and you're going to stand up and dance most of it, you get to go right up front to where we've taken the seats away and dance.
Yes, but we are selling, I believe half the center orchestra is already sold.
Wow.
So, and we're 30 days out. So we're super
Yeah.
excited because there seems to
Yeah.
be, quite a bit of momentum this year with it. So we're encouraging those, if you want to do a sponsorship or if you want to buy a block of seats, that it's a good time to go out to the Sunrise Theater website, which is sunrisetheater.com, and then you can actually choose where you want to sit, because some people like to sit in the middle, some people like to sit in the front, in the back, to the right, to the left, whatever. So you actually get to choose your seats by doing it that way.
I think one of the reasons the tickets are selling even faster this year is because all of the people who went last year, and some of them might have signed up to go just because, I want to support Doc's Rock, I want to support the Hands Vim Clinic, or I'm Kathy Post's friend and she asked me to go, so I'm going to go. But it's a fundraiser and I'm just going to go because I said I was going to go. And then they went and had a great time and really saw that these docs can really rock.
Yes.
And sang along the whole night and had a tremendous time. And so they went home and they told their friends about this really terrific event. So all of the people from last year are coming, and then they told all the people. So, this event this year might sell out. I mean, it.
There's a very
I
good
wouldn't.
chance that
I
it could.
wouldn't wait. I wouldn't wait to buy your tickets. So you can get them through the Sunrise Theater, and that includes through the Sunrise Theater website.
Yes,
Which is
sunrisetheater.com.
very convenient, because
Very.
then you can just go online, buy your tickets, put them in the little basket, pick your seats, and pay your money.
And if you don't feel comfortable buying them online, then you can call the box office at the Sunrise Theater as well. The number for the box office is 461-4775. That's the Sunrise Theater box office, which is 461-4775. And you can purchase tickets over the phone as well.
Interestingly, you mentioned the doctors and how the idea came to fruition, but the ladies of Jewelia, the gems they call them. What does the GEMS stand for? I don't know. Julia. I don't know. Anyhow, that was a question. I'm sorry. I should have
I can't answer that.
I know.
Honest to goodness, this is the first time I've ever heard that expression, so I don't know.
So whatever we call them, we call them that because they're like going out into the community and raising money. And Kathy, you touched on the fact that this is the only Doc's concert that has been done as part of the rotation, and now they're in their third year of fundraising. But there are all other types of events too. So you can also like Hands Clinic's Facebook page and be the first to find out about all sorts of events or different opportunities.
Absolutely.
And it's Hands. Is it Vim's first or Hands?
It's
first?
handsofslc.org.
Okay.
And then also we have the JuweliaProject.org page where all of the ladies of Jewelia are showcased. It shows who they are and what month they are, and then it shows what their event is that's coming up.
Kathy and I were on a calendar together last year too.
Yes, we were.
I think I saw that calendar.
I have to admit. So one of the months, the project that the who was I think it was Maria maybe who did the calendar. Somebody did the calendar, and so we were like calendar girls. We were fully clothed. Okay, I just want to say. Did we share the month of March, or was it March?
Yes, I think it was March.
Yeah. So I was kind of disappointed at the end of the year, end of 2017, when I had to buy a new calendar and take that calendar down. Yes. But anyhow, so there was a calendar project. There was a cookbook project. There's been different bingo nights. When I was lady of Jewelia, I did a Gatsby Gala fundraiser, and I had been teaching my high school students The Great Gatsby that year, and so I got the kids to help plan the fundraiser and come in and work it too, or some of them come and work, as you know, teenagers. Oh yeah, I'll be there, Mrs. Sanders, and then yes, you know about teenagers, right?
Oh yes.
Actually, you have a very dedicated young teenager who we'll be talking with in the next month or two, because she's very active in the community.
Yes, my daughter is 13, and she really has taken on the service to the community role and just has a true heart for giving. So I do hope we can get her on and have her share her most recent project, which was she named Have a Heart for Haiti. And so she can share with you what that project looked like and the success that she had.
And we'll be looking forward to hearing more about that too. So let's talk. We still have a few minutes. We have more than a few minutes. We have lots of time. Let's talk for a minute about some of the people that the clinic has helped, some of the stories of the people that have been helped. And I know, for example, the school that I was teaching at the year I did the Gatsby Gala, the maintenance person there, he couldn't afford the additional payment for insurance, and he heard about Hands Clinic because we had the signs up there when we were doing the Gatsby event, and he went and applied and filled out his paperwork, and he qualified. And he was all excited about that because you think it's been around for a while that most everybody would have heard of it, but surprisingly, and like Christine said towards the beginning of the show, you may think that you don't qualify, and you do. So you just never know until one of the navigators with the hats on.
That's right. I have to tell you, I was just at the fair, and we were there the whole time. So we had a booth, and I actually gave away 2 tickets to Docs Rock. But there were so many people there that said that they had no idea what a volunteer in medicine clinic was, what HANDS stood for, what we did. So it was great to be able to educate all those people. Even, I was at Kaiser University a week and a half ago. A lot of the students there had no idea who we were, and they have a program there where they send some of our volunteers, or where they send people to volunteer with us. But as far as success stories, we have a young woman who had an aneurysm. She's in her 20s. She's getting her surgery because of us right now. We've sent people to the Moffitt Clinic, and they've been cured from cancer. Hepatitis, there's a hepatitis drug that if you have and I do not have a medical background, so I can't speak specifically, but we've helped a lot of people that have had hepatitis. They've come into the clinic. The drug is $100,000, but it cures you. So we have given that medication out to those people, and it has cured them.
And you get discounts on medicine.
We do.
Okay,
Yeah,
just
actually,
you're not paying
that's a
$100,000.
lot of money.
But check this out. Last year, we distributed $1.3 million worth of medication to this community at no cost to the patient.
At no cost to the patient.
Correct.
But Hands didn't pay out that much to receive all that medicine, right?
That's actually
a
Lori question, but she's the one that does all of the referrals for medication.
Just say no.
They work with.
Yeah.
Well, I think it comes through
No.
different partnerships
Exactly.
with different drug companies and things like that.
Yeah.
So they're not paying the money to have those medications available for the patients. Instead, it works through partnerships and through grant opportunities and things like that. So, but it's been a tremendous
Kathy.
help. Well, sorry.
Kathy goes in the same loop I do. My husband's always said that I don't like to muddy my opinion with facts.
Right. But it's important to realize that, for every dollar that's raised and donated, it's not a dollar for dollar.
Yeah.
It's
Correct.
$1 and we
Yeah.
can provide services to the tune of $15 to $20. So that's
Right.
we
Yep.
get a lot of services
good.
for the single dollars that are raised.
Right.
A
That is
lot
correct.
of a lot of proverbial bang for your buck
Mhm.
for your donating. Hey, I
Yeah.
just have to ask you. It's just a little bit off topic here. Actually, it's very off topic. So I had a student, 11th grader, come into my room the other day, and we were talking about something, and I said to him, "Well, you've heard the expression, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink." And he had never heard of that expression. Is that not a common expression?
Probably not among teenagers.
But wouldn't his parents have said that to him, or his
Depends on how old they are.
grandparents or
Yeah.
That's very
I was just curious.
Well, I
Wouldn't
was
you
recently-
think so?
I would think that that's a very
If you
common.
said that to Cassia, wouldn't she know what you meant?
I don't know. At 13, she may not.
Okay.
I'm going to try it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to do that
Next time I see her
experiment.
grades, I'm going to say,
Yeah.
well, you can lead it out to water, but you can't make
And
it
as
drink.
you can imagine, that was what the conversation was about. He was telling me that he didn't do well on a poetry test because I didn't teach him all those concepts. And I said, "You're in 11th grade. You didn't learn about assonance and alliteration and figurative language and literary devices for the last 10 years in school." And he said, "Well, I don't know." And I said, "Well, you can lead a horse to water." And he looked at me and I go, "And that's an idiom."
Oh
By
my
the way,
What's an assonance?
assonance is a repetition of vowel sounds within the word or consonant sounds within the word, whereas alliteration is.
Wow, clearly I missed that lesson.
Oh, you know what? It was probably quite a while ago. I mean, I'm not saying.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Anyhow.
I was helping my son do his homework, and it was online, and it was doing testing about I can't even tell you what the words were, but I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know what any of this means. I had to Google everything. I felt like an idiot. I thought, we didn't learn any of this stuff.
And the thing about our brains is they're wired so they can only hold so much at any given time. So if it's not something you use, you're not going to hold on to it. And that's why they say you have to exercise your brain. They, whoever. I say you have to exercise your brain. And there was a reason that I was saying this. I'm going to use another idiom, a method to my madness here. Kathy's going to walk away. She's going to have that English refresher. She's all ready to go.
Telling you, I knew I was a math girl for a reason. We were talking about Cassia for a minute and the fact that she has a very given heart, and she doesn't want to just do everything for herself. Although, she's 13, there's probably a fair amount she does want to do for herself. But you read about all the time these young people that are going out, they're saying, okay, instead of having a birthday party, will you bring me birthday presents? All the money raised is going to go to the Hands Clinic, or all the money raised is going to go to, this charity or the Cancer Society. And those kids aren't just that way by accident. They're that way because we train them and we teach them. And this Docs Rocks concert is a perfect example because some of the people that came last year to the concert were families. And they were kids, because it's really affordable enough where you can bring your kids. And I don't mean little kids, but teenagers, preteens who appreciate this type of music,
bring them, let them see and get some information, give them exposure. If not the Doc's rock concert, then something else. If you're listening to this show, something in your life. If you're writing a check to the American Cancer Society, or you're walking in a charity walk, or you are running, or you are spending the Saturday helping with Habitat for Humanity, bring your kids along, because they just don't turn out giving back to the community. And you don't really have to train them so much as just show them by example.
I think the other thing that it really does is it shows differences. We did a neighborhood cleanup last year, and I took my son, who was 10 at the time, and he was amazed at how much litter and trash was in the areas that we were cleaning up. And so we talked about how important it is that you think, well, it's not just one cup that gets thrown out, but as it adds up, how do things look, and how does it make your neighborhood look, and how does it impact the way that neighborhood feels? And so you just never know what dialogue is going to come through when you take your child to do any of that type of thing, and the doors that open, and then the way it changes their perspective on things.
Well, it's kind of that show me, don't tell me, that, God, I'm speaking in all idioms today. Sorry.
At least everybody knows what an idiom is now.
And an assonance.
Right?
Is that right?
Assonance. It's got nothing to do with someone being difficult either. I just want to say up front.
Yeah, because that's what it sounded like she said.
I know that. I knew that's where your mind was going. But I think that giving back to the community and giving back, whether it's through the Hands Clinic or whether it's through some other charity, or just going out and picking up trash as part of a cleanup effort, and you show your kids, and really no matter what age they are, it's like when you check out at the grocery store and they say to you, do you want to put another $1 on your check for whatever? And you say, yeah, and you say, yeah, you're demonstrating for your kids that $1 probably is not going to make that big a difference to your pocket. And not everybody has the same amount of money to spend helping charity, but you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can spend that $1, or you can, and you do that in front of your kids. They see you do that. I have a son, and Kathy knows my son too. I just shake my head and laugh at him, because that kid will give whatever he can to whoever he can, except for the fact that he's 24, and for years the money he's been giving has been mine.
Exactly.
It's easier to give away other people's money.
Much easier. And I do want to mention too, Isabel, for any of the members of the bands that we mentioned, if you happen to be a patient of one of these doctors and you see them, please say thank you, because they're donating their time.
They are.
These doctors are not getting paid to be there. They are doing this because they believe in the Hands Clinic. They believe in giving back to the community, obviously. So, it would be really great if there are people who just walked in and said, oh, by the way, thanks. I heard you're going to be at a concert to benefit the Hands Clinic. And I think that goes a long way, because then they know also that they're appreciated by the local community. They probably may never meet the patients that are actually at the clinic, but they do know how important it is. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that our lead sponsor this year is Martin Health Systems, and they have been really instrumental both last year and this year in helping us promote and make this event really successful. So,
and you are, in fact, as we said before, still accepting sponsorships, so people can still call. April 7th is the date. 7:30 p.m. is when the concert starts. But if you do come in as a sponsor, you get to go to a nice little VIP party.
Yes.
Are the docs going to be there?
Yes.
The rock docs?
The
Rockin' docs?
Yes, they will be at the VIP
Yeah,
party.
so
Yes, it's a great time to be able to take some pictures, and just mingle around. So it's a great fun party. It's just 1 hour, 6 to 7 beforehand, but you must have a VIP ticket, and the only way you can get a ticket is if you are one of our sponsors. And sponsorships start as low as $250 or run all the way up to $12,000. So anybody and all in between. So we have plenty of opportunity for anybody who might want to become a sponsor of the event.
And you can get some tickets with their sponsorships too.
Absolutely. Every
so you
sponsorship
get
level
like
has tickets.
double play in that you get your business or your organization mentioned as a sponsor, and then you can also give the tickets away to either your coworkers or your employees or your clients.
Absolutely.
So what a nice little client thing. One of the things I really liked about the concert last year too, was sitting in the audience and hearing some of the other people, some of the other comments of the people. There was a couple that were sitting behind us. And the woman was so excited. The only reason she was there was because one of the doctors that she goes to had the poster up in his office, and she was there to see that doctor rock and roll on the stage.
Fun. Yes.
And when he got up there, she was such a groupie.
And it's really
so
great
cute.
because, you do get to see the physicians in a total different
Yes.
light. They're real people doing real rock, and it's just super fun.
Again, I can't tell you how much my expectations were met and so much beyond, because I really thought that I was going to this concert where there were going to be a bunch of doctors just getting up. You know how we all have a couple drinks and we all think we can sing and maybe play a drum or whatever, get the old guitar out. But no, these guys can really rock and roll. They're very talented. It's a whole nother side of them. And if you are one of their patients and you're coming to the concert, think of how interesting the conversation will be following the concert when you go back to see them again.
Yes, definitely.
Doc's Rock concert is coming up on April 7th. It's to benefit the Hands VIM Clinic. And Christine and Kathy have been my guests today. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
It's been a lot of fun, and we can't wait to see you for the concert, April 7th. Buy the tickets online at the Sunrise Theater. Thanks for joining me. I'm here every Saturday morning and Monday evening. Have a great day. We'll see you next time with more.
The Sue Ellen Sanders Show. Archives of this program can be seen at WPSLTV.com. That's our YouTube presence.